Oh shit, we're here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the prayer room. I'm going to be your host for today, Dr. Quintari Shakir of Black Spectrum Network, and we are joined with my lovely producer,
Leah. Hi, everybody.
So I'm so glad to be back. We're going to be back at least twice a month, or hopefully every week. But you've recently had a baby, and
Mhm.
I haven't had no baby. I've just been busy, but I'm really glad to be back and on this live with you. So I'm ready to get started whenever you are.
Okay, well, I'm happy to be here. And I know you said you haven't had a baby, but BSN is kind of like your baby. So you've been raising a baby, technically.
I have, and I've been firing people, aborting people, you know.
Sending some off to college.
I didn't send a couple off to college, but
That's
for the majority, firing.
okay. All right, well, let's talk about what we got planned for today.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's get into that.
Okay, so for our readings, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the intriguing narratives surrounding high-profile figures such as Cardi B and Offset's tumultuous relationship. That's been under our psychic lens. There's been a little bit of contradictory signals. There seems like there might have been an intimate New Year's Eve encounter, but Cardi states that they're not together, so we want to know what's going on with them. We're also going to shift gears and talk about some courtroom happenings with Jonathan Majors, the guilty verdict on the harassment charges involving his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabbari. What else is going on with him? The charges include misdemeanor assault, second degree harassment, and this is all coming from this reported domestic dispute that happened in March 2023. So right now we're kind of witnessing what's going on with things that Majors tried to keep undisclosed up until this point. And from there, we're going to stay in the courtroom and we're going to talk about YSL, Young Thug's trial, and just the whole empire. It's under our psychic spotlight as well. The allegations of murder, armed robbery, witness intimidation, even drug dealings. And so we are going to look at that and see if Mr. Jeffrey Williams, also known as Young Thug, is the alleged orchestrator, or whether or not that not guilty plea is going to fly, and just see what's going on behind the scenes with that.
All right. Well, I'm excited. That's a lot of tea.
Right? You know I'm nosy, so I got my cup. I'm ready to sip.
I know. So we need to get some judge robes and get some gavel. But no, as you know, I'm the person that does the reading. So I guess I'm the messenger for the tea. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready whenever you are. You can just start. Hey, you're watching me. You're producing me. So you tell me where I'm supposed to start. And
okay. So I'd like for us to.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about starting with Cardi B?
I have so many damn readings on Cardi B from years ago. Just walk away.
I feel like I'm the culprit behind that because I'm always like, okay, well, what's going? Well, technically, I'm not the culprit because she keeps putting her business out there. I just want to know what's going on with all.
You always select Nicki Minaj too.
Yeah. Do you think we want to sprinkle a little bit of Nicki in there? Because I kind of want to know what's going on with this album. But all right, maybe we'll save that for another time.
I mean, hey, we got some time. We can do it.
Okay, we'll throw that in there if we have a little bit of time.
Okay. Well, yeah. What's the first question with Cardi B?
Okay, so we talked about like her tumultuous relationship with Offset. So I'm just curious, like, what's going on, like the details surrounding the breakup, and maybe even do you see them getting back together?
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna look at the overall energy.
Okay.
Of the relationship first. See what I receive. Oops.
We got a question too. Are we using cards or bones today?
I'm using cards. I could use bones, but if you really want me to use bones, I don't mind. Let's look into the overall energy of the situation. I got an 8 of spades. So this is basically saying that they're both on the same page right now, and interpret this how you want to. They're both doing what they want to do. That's what that 8 of spades is saying. They're both doing what they want to do. Who started doing what they wanted to do first? Is it Cardi or is it Offset? Okay. I want to say that it's Offset that started doing what he wanted to do first, because clarifying this 8 of spades is a 2 of spades. So they were having issues cooperating in the relationship, and this is in regard to this is particularly in regard to their love style. They have 2 different love styles.
Mhm.
This is also in regard to parenting as well. So they have 2 very different ways of going about parenting the kid. And this is also about their work ethic. Um, he doesn't work as hard as she does. Um, and this is in terms of like with the children, working on the relationship and working on the career. Um, Clarifying her, I have the 6 of clubs, and this is indicative, like the 6 is always indicative of somebody that's trying to like um get back at somebody. So the club is basically saying that she, for a long time in the relationship, was like, you're doing what you want to do. You're doing what you want to do. But what about what are you gonna do when I start doing what I want to do? What are you gonna do when I want to do what I want to do? And that club is saying that for a long time, she's just been talking about it. She's just been saying it, she's been threatening it, and now what she said is coming to pass. That 6 of clubs is also indicative of how it is that people will say things that they'll keep their promises on, and even if you don't keep those promises, the spirit is going to put you in a position to where you actually have to fulfill those promises. And that's where the 8 of spades is coming up. He's always done him. He's always done things the way that he's wanted to do it. And the thing with an 8 is that they tend not to be very considerate. Um, and now she's trying to be inconsiderate towards him in the relationship. She's doing what she wants to do. Let me see. How is this affecting the other person? The way that it's affecting Offset is he feels that he has a lot more freedom. I got the 10 of spades, so he feels like he cares a lot about from this 10 of spades. This is saying that what this is pushing him to care about is trying to be around groups of people, trying to be around his friends, hanging out with his friends, partying with them, having fun. And also, it's not as much about him receiving attention from the public, but he really cares about being around his friends and family. Um, for Cardi B, the way this is affecting her, there's an 8 of clubs. It's actually causing her to become more independent. But with that club, it's indicating that she's very curious. She's investigating into what he's doing with these friends. There are a lot of people around him. Let me see. How does she feel about that? 5 of clubs. So she has she doesn't know what to think. She's actually very much confused, and she's not really satisfied. Um, she's not satisfied with the reasoning that he's giving to her around why he's hanging out with certain people. Let me see how this is affecting him.
Mhm.
King of clubs. So for him, he feels that he's teaching her a lesson. He feels like, I've told you who I am, and you've tried to change me, and I'm going to continue being this person. And this is to teach you a very wise lesson that, this may hurt, but over time you will start to see things my way, or you may not agree with what I'm doing, but you will start to understand. And by you understanding, you will see things my way. So that's the energy that I have from the relationship. But I forgot the original question that you asked, and that's the question I needed to ask.
Okay. Well, I feel like you kind of covered all of that. Pretty much the question was kind of like behind the scenes of the breakup, and it sounds like they had this thing going on where Offset was like, I'm gonna do me. That's been the basis of their whole entire relationship, based on what we've seen as well, with all the different people coming out saying, I sucked this dick behind the club and all this other stuff. And so Cardi B was like, you keep messing around on me, you're gonna get what you deserve. And so that kind of led to their breakup. You said they had different types of work ethics. We know Cardi B keep a job, and it seemed like Offset started trying to work a little bit more, but it was kind of giving. Cardi was like, "You're not gonna be driving my car all day while I'm at work. You need to go and do something as well." And so he started getting more and more opportunities. Now they kind of grown apart. She's doing her, he's doing him. He's been hanging out with more people. It seems like he's kind of getting away from that family guy role that he was forced into.
Are you repeating what I'm saying from the reading?
Yeah, kind of just summing it up. I know you be channeling sometimes, so like once it comes out, you kind of don't 100% remember.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what.
I thought you were just saying what was in the media. Okay, I got you. All right,
but no, that's what.
I mean, it sounds right as you repeat it back to me. It sounds right, but I don't know if I answered the question. So let's see what's behind the breakup. Because we just looked at the energy of the. Let's see what's behind the breakup. Okay, so the energy behind the breakup, I have this. Y'all, I'm glad y'all can see this now. I got the 7 of Spades. So the 7 of Spades is always the card that indicates, well, the 7 indicates that there's going to be a spiritual challenge that these two people are going through. Spiritual meaning this is causing them to self-reflect on the relationship itself. And the 7 is also indicative that they need to do things to ground themselves. Let me see, what are they doing to ground themselves? Okay. For Offset, Offset is grounding himself. This 2 of Spades is indicative of him playing video games, being on his cell phone, engaged with technology, but it's also in talking about him trying to, again, I'm repeating myself, but trying to be around friends and trying to find his identity again as a best friend, as someone that's present in his friends' lives. For Cardi B, I got the Queen of Clubs. So this is indicative of Cardi B pretty much wanting to. She's trying to. She's been doing spiritual work for herself. So this means that she's probably been praying, meditating, but really, what the Queen of Clubs is going to mean is that therapy. She's been receiving a lot of therapy, and she has a female therapist that's talking to her about self-preservation. But the 7 of Spades is saying that there are a lot of challenges that these people are experiencing when it comes to cooperating with each other. And this is where the conflict is stemming from. I asked for more information as to what can the spirits tell me about the spiritual challenges that they're having. I received the Jack of Spades, which is pointing to Offset. This Jack of Spades is indicating that Offset is dishonest with her, and he tells her really huge lies. And there's something that he's taken from her. So this could be. Let me see what is he taking? The Ace of Diamonds. So there's some new money, a new idea that makes money, a new business project that he may have taken from her. Now, what this could look like is they were probably trying to work on opening a coffee shop or opening up a business with each other. And Offset went ahead and started doing that on his own without her, because that's what the Ace is saying. It's something that they both agreed on doing that could make both of them money, but he's choosing to do that by himself. And he's being very dishonest about it. Now, another thing about an Ace of Diamonds is that the Ace of Diamonds, they tend to like to have, they tend to like engage in like domestic sex tourism and international sex tourism. So I'm not alleging that that's what he's been doing, but the cards are saying that that could be one of the reasons why they are having these issues with each other is due to him potentially having a sexual relationship with somebody, but there also being money involved in that sort of sexual exchange. They've talked about divorce before. This is something that she's threatened before, as indicated by the nine of spades. They haven't. If she said that she wanted to divorce him in December, people need to go back and look at the last time that she said that she wanted to publicly divorce him. But they need to go back and look at the last time that a major reliable publication put out rumors that they were wanting to divorce each other. And that would indicate that between then, when those things were being reported, and between when she most recently was on her live saying that she wanted to get a divorce, they never repaired anything between the two of them. And they started growing apart due to those different spiritual desires that they were both acting on. Finally, there's an ace of spades, meaning that Cardi B is not forthcoming with things that she has, even more information that she's found out about from him. Like, she's not, there are things that she knows that he's done that she hasn't even spoken about to him. And she's sitting there and she's like, I'm watching you. I'm watching you, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything at all, but I'll give you, but certain things I will speak about when they start to affect me. What's going to cause her to say something? There's a four of clubs here. So when she speaks, when she has peace of mind, when she has resolved within herself how he's done something to undermine her or to hurt her, when she's no longer angry about it and she can speak rationally and with clarity, she will approach him about it and she will address it with him. And what I'm seeing is that she has to do it that way, because if she's too emotional, he's going to get distracted by the emotion. And when she is at peace, she's able to be very strategic about how she's bringing up these issues with him and how she's able to communicate her problems with him.
So before we move on from Cardi B, I'm just curious, do you see them getting back together, or are they going to kind of go through with this breakup and maybe even actually follow through with the divorce proceedings?
Okay, so there's a lot of information here. So don't make that face.
I'm ready for all the information.
Don't make that face. Fix your face.
Okay.
Let me stop. Okay. So I got a jack of spades again. Which I asked the question, are they getting back together? They are for the media. It's a performance, them getting back together, even them staying together. There will be synergy that is illustrated in photography, paparazzi photos, between the two of them. It could also indicate that they will be doing performances together, and people speculate that they're still together or that she never left him. I then asked, but what's going on behind the scenes? And I received the Jack of Hearts, which indicates that both of them are making sacrifices for the relationship. But at the same time, someone is being quite immature at the same time. And what this could look like is that with this being a heart, it could look like one of the parties is still holding on a lot. They're saying that they forgive the other person, but they're still holding on to a lot of resentment. And the more sacrifices that they have to make in the relationship, that resentment will grow and it will just reappear again. Mm-hmm. The other party, on the other hand, and I don't know which person is which, but the other party, on the other hand, is going to be dishonest about how they feel towards the other person, that they are willing to forgive them, but at the same time, they are still not, they have to admit to themselves that they're never going to be as in love as they were before. I asked, are they being sincere with each other? And I received the Queen of Hearts, which indicates that they are going to try to make love again. Not sexually, but this is talking about them trying to nurture and rekindle the emotional elements of the relationship to where they can like and enjoy each other's company again. And I asked, is Cardi being sincere? I received the 4 of clubs, meaning that Cardi is doing this for a strategic purpose so that she can receive peace of mind. That 4 also indicates that she's doing this for her own mental stability so that she doesn't go crazy. I asked, is Offset being sincere? And I received the Joker. So he's there's some things about himself that he's still figuring out. He's really open to seeing where things go, but he doesn't have a solid plan of action in regard to like how he's going to conduct himself. He's not as in tune. Like if Offset is hurt, he doesn't know what makes him feel. He doesn't know what to do to make himself feel better. He kind of just goes with the flow and is still figuring out how his emotional wiring is set up. While Cardi B knows, like, I'll go and get chocolates, I'll go and get flowers, that'll make me feel better. He's more adventurous. So I asked for more information about the performance that we're going to be seeing. And I guess what we're going to be seeing is we got the 3 of spades, so we'll still see them in the media together, but also we'll still see them co-parenting together. So it's like they're doing practical things with each other. But also none of this it's still going to be very, it's essentially sending mixed signals, and we're going to, in the way that people are going to interpret it, is going to be very mixed. Some people will say that they're still together, some people say that they broke up, some people will say that it's all a performance. That's what the 3 means. That there's still going to be confusion wrapped around the performance of their relationship, but that's also but what we're seeing is also reflective of what's going on behind the scenes too. There's a 6 of clubs there, which is saying that she's going to say that she's still sincere, that she's still serious about ending things. And eventually she will fulfill that promise, because I have a 5 of spades, which indicates that there will be a breakup. There will be a separation that happens, and it's inevitable. And it is going to go public. So this won't be the only time that this won't be the last time that we hear about them splitting from a reliable source.
Okay. So it sounds like we'll probably maybe see them out and about, like not necessarily with a different person. They might still kind of be together on the surface, just like for picture opportunities and maybe co-parenting. But right now, no divorce that you can see in the foreseeable future.
No, but I see them working on things. However, I do see that there will be another there may not be an event that takes place that pushes them further apart. It may just be that the incongruency between them, between the two of them, is just a lot, and it's, you know, he's trying, she's trying, but it's still not working.
Okay. So, any additional things you want to sprinkle in there before we shift gears to Jonathan Majors real quick?
I want to tell everybody to make sure that you're joining my Discord. Check the comments so that you can join my Discord. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Search Dr. Quintari Shakir, where you'll get exclusive content just from me, because I know Black Spectrum Network is really big. But yeah, you can join my personal YouTube channel, subscribe to that. Also come to my Discord channel, my private Discord channel. And none of this has anything to do with Cardi B because I'm done. But yeah, no, come to my private Discord channel. We have spiritual rituals. I have a thriving community of experienced priests that are ready to interact with you all. And we're always having spiritual discussions.
All right. I like to plug. I had to mute myself real quick because my baby in the background farting. So I didn't want you hearing that. So I want to shift gears to Jonathan Majors really quick because I really want to spend some time with this YSL trial. So with Jonathan Majors, wanted to know how this trial is going to affect his career in the future. Like, what does his future look like going forward?
He's got more opportunities coming for him. I got the Ace of Diamonds. So, but let me see. Are these opportunities in acting? Some of these opportunities are in acting. I got an Ace of Diamonds, meaning that he's going to have there's a new role that he is going to receive within the next year, because I'm asking about the next year. So he's going to receive a new role within the next year, and this role will be very profitable for him. But this is also a pioneering opportunity. So I know that he's been connected to I think the Marvel franchise, so it won't be coming from there, but this will be coming from a new sector of the movie industry. I then asked, could I get more information? And he will receive this opportunity from a female executive. I'm not sure if we know this person because it's a Queen of Clubs. So this indicate that this is a writer or a producer, a Black female, or white female, but probably Black, just because, I mean, hey, look at that. But no, there's more than likely it's going to be a Black female producer, a Black female writer who has a role specifically for him that she's tried to get this script out for a while, and she's going to offer it to him. He still has a lot of he still has a wealth of financial opportunities coming for him too. So I'm not saying spiritually that he's going to be financially hurting from what's happening. And with this being a 10 of diamonds here, this also indicates that he has other international opportunities coming for him too. I also received an 8 of hearts. So this is basically saying that he wants to stay in acting. He's not going to pivot away from acting. And I asked, I tried to get clarification about what I'm asking about. I'm like, are we speaking specifically about movies and films? I got a 3 of diamonds. So he's going to have multiple streams of income coming in, not just through, multiple films. But he's also going to have other investments that he's doing. I don't think that these other investments are going to be made public, however. And we know, it's probably not, and I'm saying this as a strategist, I would not, if you're, Jonathan Majors, if you're investing in a housing development program, do not uh, let people know. Make sure that you're signing some NDA that keeps you as a private or silent investor, just because you don't want people to you don't want people that um, are uh, you don't want people that hate you to start attacking your investors and distracting them from what you have going on. People that are gonna target you because of the scarlet letter that you have, just keep those things private. But with this also being a 3 of diamonds, it indicates that he's putting in a lot more work to make the same income. Will these opportunities be incredibly lucrative? It's a 3 of diamonds, meaning that, if they were, he wouldn't have to go and seek out trying to start a business or investing in other ways. So he will have some money. He will be offered a new role um, that will be popular for him. And with this 8 of hearts here, he's an actor at heart. He really loves the work that he's doing, and he's like, I'm still standing. I'm what you see me doing is what I'm gonna stay doing. So he's not gonna allow himself to go.
Okay. So still gonna be on our screens, just maybe not to the same capacity. Like we might see him on Tubi instead of in the movie theaters. Is that what you're saying?
I think he'll make it to Zeus.
Okay.
Oh, Peacock. Let me stop. Let me see. I got the 4 of spades, so he's gonna have stable work opportunities. He's not going to receive as many large commercial deals anymore. That let me make sure I'm speaking correctly. No, he's not. He's not, because studios are going to be too nervous to give that to him, and it would be they only a double-minded studio, somebody that like says that they care about victims, and then whatever would take on the opportunity. So I don't know. I don't really see that happening for him, but if it does happen, it's going to be a studio or an executive that's scrutinized for speaking out of both sides of their mouth. And I got a 7 of hearts here, which indicates betrayal. So the thing is, he's actually lost supporters in the Hollywood industry because of this. But these were people that were already trying to turn on him anyway, and he knows who those people are. What I'm seeing is that when people post like anonymously, like with TMZ, you're not posting, but you're talking anonymously with TMZ or whatever. He's like, I know who that person is. I know who that. I thought we were cool. I guess we're not anymore. And we're not going to hear anything scandalous about him working on these sets. People are actually going to say that they get along with him. He's a very peaceful person, things of that nature. But there's a King of Spades here, which indicates 2 things. Jonathan Majors is an incredibly hard worker, and he really understands that he's the master of his own fate. Therefore, it's going to be, he can out strategize this situation, and he is going to survive the situation. But this King of Spades is also indicative of how it is that he doesn't know how to dissolve his ego. He does not know how to humble him. He's not going to allow this situation to humble him in any way. And his desire to persevere through this tribulation is going to appear as though he lacks a lot of humility and though he's really arrogant.
Okay. So really wanted to just spend a little bit of time on Jonathan Majors, but there's one thing that I just got to know before we move on. Maybe you don't want to pull no cards and just use your intuition. You choose how you want to answer it, but I'm just curious about this relationship with Megan Good. Is that his Coretta, or is this just for the cameras?
Oh God. Now I got to go back and do my Devon Franklin and Megan Good reading, because you know I used to love them. I believed in Devon and Megan. I really, really did. I read The Weight, and I'm like, I love Devon Franklin. He is not a preacher, by the way. He's a motivational speaker. Everybody, he's not a preacher. But I wanted them to win. Lord, we throwing in Megan Good, and Jonathan Majors.
Right, because I need to know how you go from Devon Franklin to Jonathan Majors.
Oops. Let me try that again. I got a little distracted. Let me try that again. Because I pulled a card and I'm like, wait a minute, that don't make no sense. I wasn't even paying attention. I was pulling a card. Okay. Are relationships sincere? I asked, is the relationship sincere? And I got an Ace of Diamonds. Okay, so with this Ace of Diamonds being here, like, is the relationship sincere? It doesn't mean that they're together for the money. It just means that they both have a common interest, and that they understand how this relationship benefits the both of them. And this is not just in terms of them making money together. This is saying that in terms of exchange, there's something that he wants, there's something that she wants. She really wants love. He really wants somebody that loves him. So there's a difference. She wants love. He really wants somebody that loves him, and they can give that to each other. And they like each other's value system. I got a 2 of clubs, which indicates that they get along incredibly well when it comes to how they see the universe, how they see the world, how they see the future, and how they go about understanding each other. That 2 of clubs is also saying that they feel like they are soul mates to each other. And he thinks that she's really smart. And she thinks that he's really smart. He thinks that she's just an intellect and a brain, and she thinks that he's very creative and really cerebral. And they like how each other's minds work. I got the 5 of spades. There are a lot of things that are unusual about the relationship, however. This is not going to be the typical monogamous relationship, or the typical heteronormative traditional relationship. Not indicating that they're polyamorous or anything. With there being a 5 of spades here, means that beyond them having like these primal needs that they can meet, and them seeing each other, like they really enjoy having conversation with each other. They have fun differently. They have different friendship groups. They have different past life backgrounds. It's like, and this makes a lot of sense to me. Think about the types of men Megan Good dated before Devon Franklin. Excuse Johnson. And think about the types of women that Jonathan Majors has dated, a white woman. And so they can bond over, like, I felt shitty in a relationship. I felt like this person didn't care about me. Or I felt like I found the perfect person and didn't work out, right? So they've had some very similar human experiences, but there's a lot of difference, like cultural difference in the context of those experiences. I asked what makes those things unusual. The Four of Clubs, which indicates the what makes this relationship usual is how they go about rationalizing different aspects of their life, how he understands himself to have gotten to the point that he is in life, how she understands how she got to the point that she is in life. Hold on one second, everybody. My StreamYard, I don't know if y'all can still see me.
Yeah, still see you.
Sorry. A phone call came through, but it's about how they go about just coming to conclusions, the logic that they use to come to conclusions, and the way that she thinks, the way that her mind works is dramatically different than how his mind works. But they really do add an 8 of hearts. There's a lot of lust there. She's really attracted to him. He's really attracted to her, and they have great sex. I asked, does she believe him in regard to the legal case or whatever? Which I know that you didn't ask, but I'm still going to answer. Fix your face.
I want to know.
I got the King of Diamonds. 3 of Diamonds, 2 of Diamonds. She doesn't really care. She sees him as a very astute person, as a very principled man, as a man of values. And honestly, for her, she's like, I've been caught in some mess before. I know how it is. And the thing is that 3 of Diamonds, the 3s can indicate conflict. So she's like, I see both sides of things. And honestly, they got to fighting over a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you were trying to get your phone back. Whatever. That's how she's looking at it. And there's a 2 of Diamonds here. They share similar values about how things could have been handled in that relationship, and how things should have been handled in the relationship, but she don't really care. She don't really care either way. And she's like, I hear him. I know him. He doesn't seem to be what she's a monster. You know what I'm saying? I asked, is he sincere about her? 2 of Hearts, he really does want to be in a relationship. Jack of Diamonds, he feels that this relationship can improve him in some way, perhaps in regards to money or career. The Joker, he's not really sure about. He's like, I don't know. If you ask him if he's getting married, he's like, today is Thursday, and I'm focused on today. Is she sincere, Jack of Hearts? She knows that she's sacrificing a lot to be in this relationship. She knows that her spirituality is coming into question. 5 of Hearts, there's a lot that she's not going to be satisfied, that she's actually not satisfied about, and is starting to erupt or show up. And then the 3 of Hearts, which is the card of mixed emotions. So if she finds herself she's going to find herself being a servant in a relationship, an emotional servant, kind of swallowing her feelings sometimes, or having to hold in her feelings and finding a higher purpose behind why she has to not say what she wants to say. But she's going to bear the brunt of keeping the relationship together. So that's what I have.
Okay. All right. I got a couple more questions with that, but we are moving on to YSL. Maybe we'll save them for another time. We'll do an update. Okay. So YSL, I'd like to know, just like some of the behind the scenes of the trial, like is there witness intimidation going on, any witness tampering? We got people on the stand and people are saying that maybe they're trying to declare a mistrial based on some of the answers that some of these people are giving when they're being interrogated. So I want to know what's going on behind the scenes.
People don't know anything about the law. The way that this damn court case is running right now, they're not going to declare no goddamn mistrial based off of how they do with their gray hair was answering them questions. I've been watching this myself, and let's see, is there anything going on behind? When we're saying behind the scenes, are we talking about, who are we talking about behind the scenes with Young Thug and his attorney, or like?
Yeah, Young Thug and his attorney, like, are they like trying to make, like you said, there's probably not going to be a mistrial, but do they think that maybe, okay, if we try to manipulate the situation, we can get this thrown out, get a mistrial? Like, is there anything?
Well, I will say this, they are definitely using some old legal tactics. Like there's some tactics that they're using that are really, it's like, I guess if this was like 20-30 years ago, these tactics would have worked. Like trying to, like, I think he was trying to admit in the evidence a video from it was some music video from I think Rich Homie Quan and some stuff.
Okay, I know they played what, Lifestyle in the courtroom at one point. Yeah,
but it was like the way that they were trying to get evidence admitted into it. Anyway, let me see. Okay. So I received an 8 of spades in regard to like what's happening behind the scenes, and there's conflict because Young Thug's attorney is Young Thug is not pleased with his attorney's performance. And Young Thug also like wants to control how his attorney is showing up. But his attorney is trying to be as subservient as possible, even when it doesn't help him. And I also think that there's a conflict of interest here, where the attorney is like, I want to approach it this way, but I'm trying to please my client because my client doesn't want this to get out, and this is a strategy that we're trying to take. And in the attorney compromising his natural motivations and his natural ways of handling this case, it's like he's doing what Young Thug wants to do, but it's not going to please him. I got the 9 of hearts, and Young Thug has actually been really disappointed with his attorney in a lot of ways. And this actually makes sense because it's like the I know you all watched the trial where it's like the defense is trying to make objections and the objections are being overruled. I think that Young Thug, he's definitely not dumb. He's like, why is this continuing to be overruled? Like, all of this ain't that the judge is just against me. Some of this, it seems like y'all are not doing y'all's best. I got the King of Diamonds, and this King of Diamonds is saying that I paid you a lot of money, and you're gonna do what I said because I'm paying you all this money. Then there's an Ace of Hearts here. His attorney's self-esteem is being challenged here. To where he's his esteem is kind of being deflated, where he's like, I'm confident that I can represent you to the best of my ability, but then you want me to do this, and I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to ask these questions or get this in. I'm trying to help you, but it's I'm going through a lot of barriers. And then Young Thug is like, but I'm paying you all this money. I asked him, I getting this correct, and I got the 5 of diamonds, which indicates that some of this I'm saying is correct and some of it's speculation. I asked for them to correct me on what I was doing wrong, and they said, sharpen your intuition. So, and that's all to say that my spirits just checked my ass, but it's also about how Young Thug is like, do I need to he's like, should I have spent money on other people's attorneys, especially the people that I consider family and I'm looking out for, but I'm not fucking with these people. Like, there's a 5 of spades here, meaning that the people that are testifying against, he's not fucking with them after this. Young Thug has like he has a king's energy. He's like, I wish, this should have ran this way, this should have went this way. He's also not someone that's willing to, in this regard, he's not willing to admit that he made a mistake. Like, maybe you made a mistake by not making sure that everyone had really good representation. Even if you didn't have money, it was pretty much like, I've got to make sure that I'm good because I'm taking on the brunt of these charges. I see how they're doing this, but that's honestly what I see.
Okay. So before we start to conclude with YSL, I'm curious, is there anything else that you want to ask about before I get into my last question?
I mean, I know this is the beginning of the trial. It's supposed to last months and months and months, but like, I want to see, will this get more entertaining?
Okay.
Will the general public be entertained? So I got an Ace of Hearts, which means that not so much that we'll be entertained, but we'll always find new things to be interested in about the trial. And some of it we'll love, some of it will be boring. But it's honestly up to the individual to determine. Like, it's like this reading is saying, for the collective, too many people watching it. For individuals, like those of you all that are watching the psychic reading, there will be things that interest you about it. That is guaranteed. I'm asking from the prosecution side, will there be things that are coming out that are really interesting? There's a 7 of clubs. People, the general public, as far as what they think about the prosecution, it's not that it's mixed, but it's that they're pessimistic about how the prosecution, and I feel like they're directing this towards Attorney Love, but they're pessimistic about how the prosecution is presenting their evidence. They're like, where's this going? Where's this headed? There's the 2 of spades here, and they're pessimistic about the they and people's predictions may be true. There will be more not uncooperative, but like difficult to cooperate with witnesses. And then we have the Queen of Hearts, the Queen of Love. So I feel like people won't be particularly entertained by her, but they are going to, their impression of her will be diminished, and I don't think they will be impressed with her. But this is just the general public, right? It's not the jury. which is what I should ask about. But as far as Young Thug's team, people can see that he is really loyal. Like that attorney is really loyal. That attorney is going hard for him like he's family. But at the same time, people are losing interest in his arguments because there's a lot of hearts here. They feel like some of his arguments, some of the things that he's saying are insincere, or they're not hitting, or they don't. It's like, I don't know about that, but I see that you really care and you're really trying. And then there's a Six of Hearts, which means that people will still, the general public will still find favor in what's happening with Young Thug. They will, the attorney will present entertaining evidence and entertaining facts and come up with some really entertaining arguments that will have a positive impact on the general public. I don't know if that was the best question to ask, but I'm gonna just ask one more question about the jury. What is the jury feeling right now? One card, almost fill up. What is the jury feeling? The King of Clubs. They're not feeling anything. It's a lot that they're thinking. It's a lot of information for them to process. And this King of Clubs is saying they're waiting for all of the information to come out. That King of Clubs is saying that they are listening diligently. They are writing down a lot. So they're not losing track of what's happening. There's a lot of intelligent people on this jury as well. So they don't feel anything yet.
Okay. So that kind of a little bit ties into my last question, but we do have a question in the chat. They want to know, has he made any sacrifices that can secure his eventual freedom? Is that something you'd like to look into, or do you want to kind of segue into our last question for YSL?
Has he made any sacrifices that secure his eventual freedom? Sacrifices how? What type of sacrifices are you talking about? That's the question. Do you mean, has he sacrificed a person? Has he sacrificed a chicken? You know, I forgot we got comments in here. Oh, wait. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Somebody asked, are we using Cars or Bones today? I know this is about to be good. Is today's show good, y'all? Is today's show good? Did we do good? Has he sacrificed people or chickens? Maybe to a deity. Okay, I don't like answering these types of questions. I don't like conspiracy theory questions. Like,
gotcha.
I feel like this is a conspiracy theory. You know, how they used to do when I used to be on YouTube, the people whose minds be everywhere. But let me see. Has he sacrificed to a deity? Okay, for sacrificing to a deity, I got a 5 of diamonds, which indicates an exchange. So this would indicate a yes. And then there's a Jack of diamonds beneath it. But this was he paid a lot of money out of his own pocket, and I mean, he's still in his, was this to, yeah, it is a 5 of spades to change the outcome of the situation, to change his fate, to change his fortune. Okay. And you don't have to apologize. But I was still going to answer the question anyway. I just don't like conspiracy theory questions, but you don't have to apologize for that. Did he sacrifice a person? There's a 6 of spades here. And all of this is alleged, right? We don't know any of this for sure. Like the only, spiritual readings do not define the reality. So I want you all to take this with a grain of salt and just know that the jury is going to define the reality for what happened. That those are the only people that are going to define the reality. The 6 of spades here is an indicator. It's not an indicator of death, but it's an indicator of I'm gonna get revenge, right? So I asked, as far as sacrifice, revenge can be a motivating factor for sacrifice. And trying to get revenge can be a motivating factor for sacrifice. But then there's a 9 of diamonds here, which is indicative that no, sorry. I asked, did he act on revenge while imprisoned? There's a 9 of diamonds here, which indicates like it would have cost too much money to do so. So no. I asked, did this happen prior to him being incarcerated? I got the 10 of hearts. So this 10 of hearts would indicate that there's a lot of people involved in that revenge, in executing that revenge plot or that revenge plan, rather. Because there's a difference between a plot and a plan. But that 10 of hearts is also indicating that there's a chain of command. Anyway, so it would be difficult. I guess that's what they're proving in court, actually. Like, he's a part of a chain of command. There are people in it, and he gets revenge on them. So I'm sure that the prosecution will present evidence to show that he has tried to that he allegedly has tried to get revenge using his chain of command to stop himself from being prosecuted. Well, did I answer that? Was that clear?
It's clear for me.
You think it's clear for the neurodivergent people?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I was talking in circles, but
no, but it made sense. So last question before we wrap up. I'm just curious. Oh, yeah. The person who asked the question also said yes, it was clear for them. So
okay.
All right. So any predictions about the verdict? Any feelings like your intuition telling you about maybe which way the jury might decide, or is it too early?
It may be too early because the case is going to last so long.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I could, there's a different way I can look into this to speculate, but I don't think we have enough time for me to get that software. Maybe we do. Can you get his birthday for me?
Sure.
Yeah, I got the Joker. That's the first part that I got. So I'm gonna just speak a little bit about what I'm intuiting with this for the outcome. The Joker is basically saying it's in the air. This is a wild card. There's much more evidence that has to be introduced in order for that to be determined. So I am going to log into. Do you have his birthday for me?
Yep, August 16th, 1991.
Oh, he's younger than me. Okay. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Can y'all see that? Y'all see that? You can see it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So looking at what Young Thug's chart has, Young Thug is a Leo and he's a 10 of clubs. Right now he's in his Mars period. So yeah, this 7 of diamonds and Mars indicates that he's paying a lot of money on his legal fees right now, and he's actually really disappointed with what he's paying out, with what he's receiving in return. But that 7 is an indicator of spiritual protection. So it's like things could be a lot worse if he didn't have this money to pay out. So it's like he needs to be grateful for what what has been happening, what has been portrayed. But here's so what I mean by that is the information that they're presenting could be a hell of a lot more damning than what it is if his attorney didn't work so hard with the arguments that he's presenting. It's the arguments that his attorney is presenting. Young Thug may not feel like these are the strongest arguments, but the strength of these arguments is pushing the prosecution to have to find very creative ways to connect him to these crimes. And the thing with creativity is people can see creativity versus logic. They're like, okay, if it's logical, it should just be A to B. But it seems like the prosecution is going around the way to make their argument. So he needs to be grateful that his attorney has put pressure on the prosecution, and that the prosecution has to find, instead of them going A to B, they got to go from A to Z to D to F to G in order to connect it. It's like the way that they're going about connecting the dots is difficult for the prosecution. He needs to understand what he paid for. He's like, I paid you all this money. I was hoping that, things would be easier. And his attorney said, this is not going to be easy, but he needs to be grateful. But then there's a 6 of clubs here. The 6 of spades. So the 19th, which is tomorrow, meaning that this trial from the 19th until March the 11th, this is going to be real difficult for him because it's in his Jupiter period. This means that there's information that's going to come out that's not going to be good. But he's blessed with this Ace of Clubs. It's in his blessed period, Jupiter. He's blessed because his attorney will be able to defend a lot of this evidence that's coming out. But there's an Ace of Clubs here indicating that there's going to be there are going to be communications that are presented, text messages, chats, things of that nature, especially information that is where it's like connected to people that are close to Young Thug. Like these are going to be like private messages, private screenshots that are coming out and stuff like that. And he should be fine, but he's going to be really nervous at the same time. So he's entering into a real blessed period. He's blessed that this court case is coming. He's blessed that this court case, they took a break and that they're coming back after the 19th because he's going into his Jupiter period, right? But as this court case goes into March, there's a lot of trouble because in March, this is when the prosecution will start pointing out people lying, people being dishonest, especially when the prosecution has to cross-examine the defense's witnesses. That's going to be hell for him. He needs to just go ahead and prepare for that. That's what I'm seeing. And this just could potentially happen. It's not a guarantee. But what I will say is that he has a 6 of diamonds in Pluto, meaning that 6 indicates karma. There are things that he's done in the dark that he has to pay karma for. And the way he's paying that karma is financial karma. So it's like there are things that you've done. Now you've got to pay a lot of money to protect yourself. The result being the 10 of hearts, which indicates social success, a lot of popularity. So this doesn't mean that he'll get off and be super popular. This doesn't mean that he will be found guilty and that he'll be super popular. It just indicates that by his next birthday, which is going to be August the 16th, by his next birthday, things should have wrapped up, and we're going to hear a lot about him in particular and what's going on with him and all this money that he paid, because the King of Diamonds here, all this money that he paid, all this money he had spent coming out, how he ran this business, how he ran his record label. Then there's a Seven of Spades here. There's going to be a huge loss that he's going to experience, a huge spiritual challenge that's coming up for him, where he's going to lose something. Either he's going to lose, he's already lost a lot by losing the people that are around him that have taken plea deals, right? Or this could indicate that he loses his life and ends up, in prison. So it's difficult to say. Really, really difficult to say.
Okay, so I guess we're going to have to continue to follow that. Stay tuned and provide the audience with updates as new things develop.
I 100% agree. We definitely will. I'm sorry y'all heard that. But we need to get up off of here. We've been on for an hour. We're going to try to keep our shows at an hour. I want to thank you all so much for tuning into the prayer room. By the way, we got to go down. So are we sending Cardi B to heaven or hell?
All right. I don't like sending nobody to hell unless they like R. Kelly or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for heaven.
I'm gonna send you to hell because you went on live and you said you were divorcing him and that you was done with him, and then you said y'all had sex and y'all still together. So I'm gonna send you to hell for marital fornication. All right. So Jonathan Majors, we sending him to heaven or hell?
I'm gonna send him to what? Purgatory. That's like right in the middle. That's where you can go for me. Yeah.
I'm gonna send you to hell for telling that lady to act like Coretta Scott King.
Okay, yes, that's valid.
I felt like you were playing with black women. And Young Thug, we sending him to heaven or hell?
I feel like Young Thug sent himself to hell. All them potential bodies that he done paid for. So that's my conclusion.
I mean, I'm gonna send him to heaven for right now because it's like, woo, buddy. He's been in hell. He's in fucking. Well, no, he's in Cobb County Jail. So, but his friends in Wright Street, I wouldn't want to be in his position. Right now, I'm just gonna send you to heaven. I'm not saying you deserve to go to heaven, but we're gonna revisit this. And if we find some more shit, if I see some more shit about you, Young Thug, I'm gonna send you to hell. I'm gonna send you to hell. Okay. But anyway, guys, make sure that you all go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com and purchase a private psychic reading with me. Okay, do not miss out on the opportunity to purchase a reading with me. I'm an incredibly accurate spiritual reader. I'm also a crisis manager. So if there are any politicians out there that are interested in receiving some forecasts about what's going on with you, please let me know. If there are business executives that are interested in helping their staff at all, forecasting things, for sales that you're trying to have, or you just want to grow your business and be in more abundance, please reach out to me and please contact me. My lovely host, Leah, make sure y'all hit the pineapples for Leah. Hit the pineapples. Leah, is there anything you want to say before we go?
Just kind of want to piggyback off of your readings and just reiterate that they are very accurate. Whenever I'm about to make a major life decision, I reach out to you and I'm like, okay, this is like what's in front of me. What does your intuition tell you? And you haven't steered me wrong yet. So I just wanted to let everybody know that, yes, they are very accurate and they are very much so worth it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that beautiful compliment. With all that being said, I leave you all with these words of wisdom from the rapper Dreezy. Gave mercy to these hoes. What would Jesus do? I have been your reader for today, Dr. Quintari Shakir, otherwise known as Huganzo. Joined here with my lovely co-host,
Leah.
And I want you to remember that the truth is always collaborative. Bye.